Everything starts with a sunrise. It's what we do before it sets that matters.
In our jam-packed lives, where we are the traffic, who hasn't thought of getting up and leaving everything, if only for a few days?
Hey, it isn't easy. That's what they say.
It only takes a moment and maybe a partner to take this plunge. We wanted our Aussie experience to be unique. I took the path less traveled by, and that has made all the difference, wrote Robert Frost in 1916. A century later today, we wanted to experience Australia in an offbeat way. From the desolate red desertscapes of the Northern Territory to the street art of Melbourne, from watching Sydney lit up by a million lights to living on the edge in Adelaide and making some unique friends in Brisbane.
Okay.
It's ticklish.
We got to explore this beautiful country from the sky, on the land, and in the sea. Sometimes we had an adrenaline-pumping adventure. And at other times, serene moments of peace.
यार एक बात बोलूं? खाना खाया जाए?
Are you the one making all this? Oh, those hands.
And with so many communities making Oz their home, there was no dearth of glorious food from around the globe. And the warmth of their hospitality made our memoirs into lifelong memories.
Okay, close your eyes.
Okay.
Bye. It's good?
Wine is a grape's best effort at immortality.
We were sending out the subliminal message.
Well, I'm kind of looking at the way.
Cook for us. That is the best garlic bread I've had in my life.
Oh, come on. Oh, my God.
No. I'm serious.
We took the offbeat path, and that made all the difference.
Spectacular, no?
Our first destination is Australia's most unexplored region, the Northern Territory, also popularly known as the Outback.
From up in the air, this looks really interesting. Like it's the road, you can see it from really far away because it sticks out so much. It doesn't really belong. So I also read somewhere that 2 or 3 years ago, the Northern Territory was rated as one of the 20 best places in the world.
You know how big this place is? I read it's as big as Spain, France, and Italy combined.
Wow, that
How
means
cool
about
is
the
that?
size of Odisha.
It's so much fun to just be on a holiday instead of always working.
Hi, boys.
Bruce.
I'm here. Bruce.
How you doing? I'm Rocky.
Rocky.
I'm Mayur.
Mayur.
You have to roll the R.
Mayur.
Very good.
Oh, man. I'm onto it. So, boys, what we're going to do, we're going to go jump on the trike, head for a run around the rock.
This is it?
This is it,
Wow,
mate.
look at that.
Look at that. Pretty cool.
Oz strikes. I've never seen one of those before. Have you ever seen one of
Oh,
those
mate.
before in your life?
No, but we did, where we were growing up in Delhi in India, we did have these modified motorcycles which had place for like 8 or 10 people.
Yeah, well, we could probably get a dozen on this one.
Yeah.
Right? There was stand them all over the place.
Those are very nice. Those are like 2 benches, 1 bench here, 1 bench there.
That's it.
20 people in, no problems. Okay, so what do we do? What do we do?
Okay,
Let's
boys,
get out
what
there.
we're going to do, we're going to put some helmets on,
Okay.
get on the back, and we're going to hook in.
Finally!
It's
Uluru!
We were so excited to finally go see Uluru or Ayers Rock, the massive sandstone monolith in the heart of Northern Territories, at its dead center.
Uluru is sacred to indigenous Australians and is thought to have started forming around 550 million years ago. It's placed within the Uluru Tjuta National Park.
Some of the myths and legends of Uluru remind us of a few back home, like the ones in Hampi.
G'day guys, how are
How's it
you?
going?
Are you keen for a Segway tour?
Yes, please.
Mayur.
Mayur, my name's Alex.
Alex, hi, I'm Rocky.
Rocky, lovely to
How are
meet you. Let's talk about Uluru geologically. So have you heard why it's red, or have you had any assumptions why everything's
It's
red?
not a monolith, it's an inselberg. And geologists get very upset when you say it's a monolith.
You've been doing your homework, I like this.
Between 530 to 600 million years old.
Yeah, exactly. So actually Uluru, they theorise it's quite old, you know. Often we sort of gauge around 550 million years is a pretty rough estimate. Uluru was a sedimentary deposit. So originally these sediments were deposited in a big basin and then they got compacted and then they were rotated. So as they were rotated, the Uluru actually sits on a 90-degree angle. So if you're going over to watch the sunset later today, ask any of the parkies or anyone who's out with you, and they'll be able to show you the vertical lines that make up Uluru. They're not so evident from here, but one side of Uluru was the sediment that was laid first. So it's believed to have been in place for about 50 million years longer than the other side.
Super. And these little cracks and holes that are forming up all over the rock?
Yeah,
Those
now-
are just natural differences of rock that's eroding differently? Or,
Yeah,
what is it?
exactly.
Or water springs coming out?
No, just natural differences of erosion. If you
That-
ask local Ananu people, the traditional owners, it's because of the chukapa, like that snake she might have came in here, and she might have sat down and done something which made these markings.
And now it's home to lots of birds and animals because I can see guano up there, bad guano.
Yeah, you can see a bit of that. Some of it's a bit of leaching out and some different, you know, like chemicals having reactions with the air.
Okay.
There's a few honey eaters in here. Often you can see magpies or willy wagtails as well. Every now and then you'll see the occasional little zebra finch or even a rainbow bee eater. They're very beautiful. This one here in the tree, that's a butcher bird.
A butcher bird?
Yeah, you'll find them across Australia.
Huh.
So can you see he's black and white?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right here, this tree is called arnuli. It produces a fruit that can be eaten. It's very high in vitamin C.
Nice.
Look
Sour?
closely. A little bit tart. All right.
So climbing Uluru is not really encouraged, is there? I mean, if it's so important to...
Yeah, Uluru is a really spiritual place for traditional owners. So it's asked that you don't climb out of respect to them. It's like going and climbing on churches or temples or
Right.
mosques or synagogues in other parts of the world. So while we're here, this is actually where one of those creation stories happened that explains to Anangu people some of the markings around Uluru. So these creation stories, they're everything, you know? It's the law, it's the way the world came to be. It's everything. It's very important to local people. So this is explaining about Kunya, the Woma python. She's a snake that left her eggs down one end of Uluru, and then she travelled around here looking for her nephew. Now her nephew, he'd lived out there with some other people, and he'd wronged them. Now, he'd wronged them and broken their law, so they punished him. But they didn't fulfill their punishment obligations, and they left him to die. So Kunya, she became very enraged, and she had a ceremony here. And basically, in this ceremony, she took on one of the Liru warriors that injured her nephew. So you can see some of the physical evidence scattered here from the battle and the ceremony that she performed.
Wow. And I bet there's like hundreds of stories like this about Uluru,
There's
right?
many stories about Uluru. There's quite significant chokopa. That's that cultural significance out here.
It's very beautiful. I can feel this compelling sense of power. I can just imagine how it would have been for people like thousands of years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Coming out of the desert and suddenly you have this beautiful rock with lots of water around it and
Oh, exactly.
a little bit of green. It's like, it's the source of magic and the source of life.
Isn't it? And you can really feel that after you've been out there driving through the sand dunes. It's so dry and arid, and then you come in here and look at where we are.
It's paradise.
Isn't it just paradise and green? These beautiful trees in towards the waterhole. I know what you're saying, Rocky. It just feels really spiritual.
It is. It's like a temple.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, it's so big. It's like God.
Yeah.
Are you feeling that? Because I'm feeling it.
It's like almost like a magnetic pull. And I must admit, I also have this as a rock climber. I also have this little feeling when I look at all these things like, wow, it would be nice to climb, but I would.
These are the times when you're overwhelmed by nature. The experience of seeing the Ayers rock, hearing its folklore, and seeing the light change against the beautiful rock left us speechless.
Wake up time 4:30 a.m. Departure time 5 a.m. Breakfast? No way.
No time, as we have to make it in time for Bruce Munro's Field of Light, run entirely on solar power.
Now, here are the rules you must follow.
I refuse to follow rules early in the morning.
Keep both your eyes open.
Brush your teeth.
Keep both your mouths shut. See, it works.
No, it doesn't.
In case you forget about the first one, just close the second one. No, don't talk anyway. I'm a visual artistic person.
Yes, clearly. I can see that for the last 15 minutes.
As you can
Damn is
see
convinced
by my beautiful bag. Why do I have a beautiful lady's bag next to me? Tama, is that yours?
That is mine, yes.
Okay, well, it's a lovely bag.
Oh, thank you.
The lady's bag alone.
Thank you. Oh, are we here? This is it?
We're here, yeah.
Oh, it looks like nothing right now. It just looks like a field
Yes.
with headlights.
Yes.
Field of lights.
Field of lights. You know what really gets me every time when I see something like this? That somebody, a country would spend so much money, effort, time, imagination on just making things beautiful. It's just beautiful. You know how many lights there are over here?
50,000 I read up.
50,000.
50,000, and they said the area is like 3 times a sports stadium. Just wide all the way up to the...
Super. I see, look at these fiber optic cables, they're glowing also. This is like a alien landscape almost.
क्या सोचा होगा बंदे ने सोच desert है, want to do something modern but keeping in touch with like the whole environment.
So can I ask you why you're whispering?
This is, you're right. We are whispering.
We are whispering now. But this is what happens in presence of beauty. Now I can understand why people are so quiet when I'm there. Something to just think about. Spectacular, no?
Here's the passengers and here's the crew. Hi guys, how's it going?
Great.
All set?
Yes.
My God, so many people to shoot one show.
This is within the Northern Territory, which is as big as an entire country, or maybe 2. So, we have 3 private planes to carry Mayur, me and our entire entourage to our next destination.
It's pretty cool to have 3 planes to go somewhere in, huh? 3 planes for the 2 of us.
With the full entourage. I don't think any big star has ever enjoyed this kind of scene. 3
Excuse
planes.
me, what do you mean big star? There are no bigger stars than us. 215 kilos combined.
Good point.
Huh?
Gabbar Singh, Tuntun.
Old Gabbar Singh, young Tung Tun together, but not at the same time period, see?
Yeah, we're good to go.
How many times have you been in a private plane before this?
Multiple times.
What?
Many times.
You're lying to me. You've never been in a private plane before.
Multiple times.
When? Now make me count.
You haven't been there, otherwise you would have had to ask this question.
I've been in many planes and helicopters. But this looks like it's going to be fun. Woo! We're moving, we're moving. Right now they're saying that there's a really ugly guy sitting on the left side on the front plane.
Oh, they must be watching from the back. I have just one question.
What?
Where are the parachutes?
It's a good question.
Like if the lady at some stage says jump, might be too late to ask for parachutes then.
True. But you make a good impression on the ground as soon as you land.
You know the really cool thing?
What?
We're going to get to see Uluru from up there, another perspective.
We're flying over Uluru right now?
Yes, we're going to go around it.
Super! Alright, this is it! So this is about as remote as you can get. Nothing as far as the eye can see in every direction. We were mind blown watching Uluru from above 1,000 feet and could connect the dots about the legends told to us by Alex.
After Uluru, our stupendous destination and spiritual treat, the timing of our next adventure couldn't have been better. "36 kilometers from the magnificent Kings Canyon, Kings Creek Station is set amongst majestic desert oaks. It's a working camel and cattle station. Look at these, yeah. They're like a cockatoo. Some kind of like pink parrot. I think they're called galas. And they're here eating those bush melons, these things that are growing everywhere. They've come to eat these. It's amazing. Such different life here. I love it. So after high flying, it was time to experience the outback the old-fashioned way, but only on wheels, doing quad biking. The quad bike experience was already ticked off at Kings Creek Station. It was time now to get into the chopper to see the bird's eye view of the Kings Canyon. Kings Canyon is part of the Watarka National Park in the Northern Territory. The walls of King Canyon are over 100 meters high, with Kings Creek right at the bottom. Part of this gorge is a sacred Aboriginal site, so visitors are discouraged from straying off the walking tracks. We took a small pit stop to refuel before heading to our next destination.
We're just waiting for our aeroplane to get fueled up so we can go. This is our Australian outback expert, Tama.
Hello.
She could survive in the wild for 3 hours without any water or food. Did I push that?
I think 3 hours is quite generous. Yeah, I like that.
But we need the dark glasses and the hat.
This is true.
Come on.
Sun smart. Safety first.
Yeah, so it's wonderful. We were just discussing how it's not so glamorous to be a pilot. Turn around and you can see that. I think we're done packing. It's time to take off. Let's go.
Alice Springs, here we come.
Finally, we took wings to fly to our next destination, Alice Springs.